Hello, and welcome back to the Exiled Prince. We are resuming our adventures once again with the Un-Hive in our playthrough of Kenshi. This episode will consist mostly of small groups or individuals venturing out of our new base in the north, and we'll be interspersing those adventures with various shots of the people who remained behind fending off cannibal raids, because that's sort of what occupies most of their time. So to begin, we have this shot. Once again, we have a rare shot where I include the user interface in the screenshot. This is a shot of the zone that we're about to explore. Last time we saw our little squad of treasure hunters who are going to venture out and clear some ruins while we build up our base and prepare for our campaign against the cannibals. This is a little offshoot of the western coast called the Iron Trail. It's just got one little ruin at the end of it, and I don't realize at the moment I'm taking this screenshot what a giant, huge pain in the ass it's going to be to get out there. But it's going to be great. In the background of the map, you can still see this is the Leviathan Coast. This is a very zoomed-in screenshot of the map. Our base is a little bit off the picture to the right. We're going to keep on moving here. So first up, we have a shot of our treasure hunters making their way into the Iron Trail. This is a shitty little island like you saw in the map. It's full of cannibals, it's full of shrieking bandits, and it's full of those iron robot spiders. There's a couple of those in this picture right now. In the foreground, we've got Green and Dr. Chung shooting their crossbows, as well as our pack. You can see our big pink pack beasts. I believe Ever Given and Ever Laurel are the ones that have come on the trip with us. We're fighting a band of the Blood Butcher Cannibal tribe, as well as one of the big iron spiders. Honestly, it's nothing we can't handle. We're pretty well equipped at this point. The only issue is that it's going to sort of be a non-stop, about when we clear a group of cannibals, another will crest a hill, and so we're going to sort of slowly fight our way across this relatively short space, just with a lot more difficulty than we might otherwise. And eventually we're going to get to the tip of the little island, and here is the ancient tech lab that we were looking for. I don't know what's in there. I mean, obviously it's going to be full of those stupid robot spiders, but, these labs always promise varying levels of ancient technology and equipment and supplies. So I just thought this was a kind of nice, we've got trees and this nice sunset, I believe it is, and some of the areas have like circling bird effects, so you can see these birds in the sky. It's kind of nice, if it wasn't such a hellish, disgusting place to be, and it looks like it's raining as well. Yeah, so here's, as I thought, unsurprisingly, inside of the tech labs, full of these horrifying security spiders. These are stronger than the ones that roam outside. Down in the bottom left, Sakri has poked his head. You can see his name is floating in the screen because I've kept the interface on. So we're gonna begin our process of luring them out to kill them. I'm gonna again try my strategy where I build mounted crossbows outside the base. It's not gonna work as well as it may be just relying on the normal crossbows, but we'll try it. Here we are. You can see Burn and Sadneil, our two robots, are operating some mounted crossbows, or I hope you can see. These pictures are kind of dark. I've thought about trying to turn up the brightness and edit the photos and make them brighter. Who knows? Maybe that's too much effort. And who's to say? I probably don't realize until the video's up which ones could use it, because I can see this picture and I say, yes, I know exactly what's happening. But of course that might not be clear to a viewer. But these two are the people with the best turret skills that aren't busy using their crossbows, so they're going to be shooting these spiders as they come out, while the soldier drones and Fiona go and bash them with their big ol' swords. And we're also going to get harassed by shrieking bandits the whole time, making a second appearance after their feature in the last episode. These naked, screaming humans with giant rusty cleavers are going to come and ruin our day. So we're going to sort of have half our treasure hunting party fending them off, while the other half is either fighting robots or recovering from having fought some robots. Crumble John's having a rough time. You can see him crumpled in the middle of the screen here. Sakri's trying to help him out, while Burn. This is exactly what I just said. So we've got the crossbows shooting at robots. We've got the shrieking bandits trying to fight us as well. Up in the top left of the screen, it looks like Fiona and the soldier drones are fighting a robot spider and also a group of shrieking bandits. The little red and green numbers floating there represent the damage that's being dealt. And there are also some big chunks of metal, which are the dead security spiders. Overall, it was a very long and frustrating process trying to clear this tech lab while also fighting an unending stream of shrieking bandits. But meanwhile, back at the base, it's business as usual, which means that cannibal raids are being killed by the herds of pack animals outside our base. We don't really have to do anything for this one. We can just watch them all get their shit kicked in by a bunch of mooing pink monsters. But sometimes they do brush into the base. Here is poor Beep suffering. I haven't really gotten him any armor yet because he's still not that strong, and so the big armor will weigh him down a lot. Don't worry though, he has not lost a limb yet. It just looks like he's doing some really expert splits. His left leg is crippled, but it will recover currently. He's no cyber limbs for Beep yet, though hopefully the transformation into Cyber Beep will happen. I'm not making that up. That is a real thing that he will call himself when you give him robot limbs. It's very cool. Here's a very cool shot of our people fighting against the cannibals. I just really liked the way they lined up with their weapons. I think I mentioned this before, but you can see lots of them are using these naginata katanas, which are these pole arms with long, like, katanas at the end. Don't see much use in the late game because you're fighting robots and heavy armored people, but against the hordes of naked cannibals, they're actually an excellent weapon choice, especially since most of our people are trained in pole arms anyway, because I like pole arms. I think they're a cool weapon, and I like having big groups of pole arm users. So here we are. And here's another shot of our base. We've built a couple more buildings. We've got a big snail house, which is that kind of middle left building. That's going to be our workshop, where we're crafting all of our materials and weapons and armor and such. And just about finished is this, you can see it's still got the orange mesh on it, meaning I haven't fully finished it. But this is a round outpost, which is this closest building on the left. I'm not really sure what I'm going to put in that building, but I like that building design. We were waiting to unlock it until the treasure hunters got back. Spoiler alert, the treasure hunters got back. I think these screenshots are out of order, but I think it worked best this way. Oh, speaking of the treasure hunters returning, here they come. A nice wide shot of our successful treasure hunters returning from... it wasn't worth taking screenshots of, but they cleared a few kind of random ruins in the surrounding area of our base before they ventured into the Iron Trail, which was the sort of highlight of their little journey. Now here they are returning with the nice moon in the background. There's some kind of weird... There's all sorts of weird deep lore about Kenshi's moon, and Kenshi's lore is very obscure in that the game doesn't really tell it to you. You have to just sort of pick it up from little scraps that it leaves you, and then most of the time it's from a character that was not even sure what what they were talking about. They found some secret. Who knows? So I don't. There's a lot of weird, obscure lore stuff in Kenshi. Here comes another cannibal raid. We're not really going to see anything that we didn't see with the last cannibal raid, but I wanted to kind of give the idea of the regular occurrence. Every couple of... I don't remember if it's every week or every couple of days, but they'll just sort of periodically arrive, and we'll fight them. Sometimes they're strong. This one looks like a pretty strong one. It's not... the last raid was a lot of, like, little scrawny cannibals, and this looks like it's a more robust war party that is being sent to us. And this picture is actually from... This is the second... So we've had our treasure hunters head out. This is from our second little excursion that'll occur in this. It's shorter, but I've sent Green, who is, if you remember, which I'm sure you don't, he's one of our hivers. He is the crossbow expert that we rescued from the swamps. At the moment, he is our fastest member, because Sakri doesn't have his best leg, his robotic leg, on yet. Green is our fastest member because he has very high athletics, and he has that scout leg that is going to hugely increase his movement speed. So I've sent him to kind of, as a runner, to run around the surrounding areas and just sort of see if there's anything to find. This is a high shot of a group of shrieking bandits clashing with some cannibals. Again, weird order, but, I'm not a professional, so you can't expect anything from me. This is just a cool shot of, I think, sand? I don't remember. No, not sand. We don't have sand yet. Hanbu? I don't know. One of our worker drones just kind of dramatically standing over the defeated cannibals in the wake of that recent raid. Really out of order. Here's that raid that he was fighting. I swear I checked these beforehand and still mess up the order anyway. Anyway, here's a big old chaotic fight. We're fighting cannibals. They're no match for us at this point. They're in our element. We've got crossbows, we've got armor, we've got the pack beasts are surprisingly strong. There's some people who play Kenshi just by having one guy and like 8 pack beasts that can just wreck anyone that they encounter. Cool stuff. Here's a shot of them breaching our wall, as I've mentioned before. I think because of the mod that I'm using, it doesn't let you sort of cheese the gate repairing, and they just bash down one of your walls and they flood in. Terrifying stuff. Makes you wonder why I built these walls in the first place. But so here's another shot of Green's excursion, and I'm going to explain what's happening in here because if I were writing this story, I would not have written this scene because I've accidentally recreated a trope that I don't like. I told Ethan about this the other day. I don't like this trope in usually adventure kind of stories where the protagonists will go to a place that is some kind of either ancient place or very established place in their world, and then they will bring some kind of danger that destroys the place, and then they move on, and then that'll happen again, and you'll end the story with sort of no places intact. There's no world left over, because I felt this in The Force Awakens, actually. A lot of the places that they go in that movie then get destroyed, and you're left over. They introduce the New Republic, it gets blown up. They go to that Maz Kanata's Maz Kanata. I got her name right. They go to her place and it gets destroyed. They introduce Starkiller Base and it gets destroyed, and you're left over like, what world is left? The junkyard from the first scene? I don't know. Or Indiana Jones discovers, or in Atlantis, it discovers some ancient temple, and then the climax destroys it, and you're like, great, I guess that doesn't exist anymore. Anyway, all that to say that Green is exploring the Cannibal Plains, and at the edge of the Cannibal Plains, he encounters a safe house by the run by the Flotsam Ninjas. The Flotsam Ninjas are a rebel group. We've passed them before, though we'll ally with them in the future. The Flotsam Ninjas are a group of mostly women who are rebels against the Holy Nation, which of course makes them very cool in our eyes. And so then they kind of take in, again, mostly women, but just kind of largely any refugees from the persecution of the Holy Nation. But their territory borders the Cannibal Plains, so they have a couple of little safe houses along the borders of the plains. And Green encounters one. You can see here one of them is standing saying, "The less you know, the better. We're done talking here." They're a little cagey with him because, they're not, understandably untrusting of strangers. But here comes a cannibal war party that sweeps over this safe house and kills everyone. And although in this shot Green is standing his ground and helping shoot down the approaching cannibals, he will be forced to run and unfortunately leave them to their fate, which made me sad. And I was like, God damn it, I did that stupid trope that I don't like, where he found a safe house and then immediately got overrun by cannibals. So I just thought that was funny, because it's something that I've complained about in other stories, and then here I am accidentally having it happen. Not accidentally, but just that it happened organically in the story that I'm playing. Very funny to me. Further on his adventures, this is a ghost town in the sense that no one lives there. It hasn't been. This was owned by the people of Dead Cat, who are the just sort of fishers and farmers who live in the lands that the cannibals have taken over, and that we're going to be sort of helping regain their homes. This town isn't run by cannibals, but it is deserted as a result of the cannibal takeovers. And because of the mod that we're using, it'll be repopulated when we eventually defeat the cannibal leaders. Very exciting. I didn't know that it'll be repopulated. I'll discover that later. I guess that's a spoiler. You don't care. You're gonna forget. Here's my challenge. Comment down below if you if we get to that part where this town gets repopulated and you actually remember that I set up that this town exists and could be repopulated, put a comment down in that future video. I don't know. Anyway, hey, we beat some cannibals. That big cannibal war party that came to our base had some leaders with names that they were called things other than just cannibal or large cannibal. And I wasn't sure if there was any reason to capture them or not, but just in case, I slapped up some prisoner cages, and we'll throw them in those cages just so that they're not running loose around the world. Here's a nice shot of inside our big station house, where our whole crew is resting in their beds, healing up from their injuries from that big fight. Here's a shot. So the beds are on the other side of that wooden partition, and this is the kitchen and eating area. Again, they don't need the eating area; they just need the food barrels. But it's still fun to build a little canteen for them. So you see Little over there on the left working his stove next to his two big bread ovens, and then in the foreground and next to him he's got a barrel of meat. We've got our bread basket, food barrels, all these barrels are various food storage. We've got sacks of flour just off the shot to the left. Love making a little mess hall for my guys. And we've also started to decorate the top of the house. When you're exploring towns in Kenshi, most bars or just any building with an open roof usually has tables and shelters and benches and stuff on the top. So I thought I'd make another little leisure area for my members up top. Here's a nighttime shot of that's Perry, Dr. Chung, and someone else relaxing next to some potted plants that I've built for them. Very nice little comfortable sheltered life for everyone up here in the Leviathan coast. And then finally here is this isn't actually a raid. This was us just fighting off some river raptors that we're gonna defeat, are gonna come eat our crops. And here's Beep with his catchphrase. Beep wins. Beep is the strongest warrior. He certainly isn't the strongest warrior, but he is well on his way to being, useful, I guess. And so on that note, thanks for sticking around if you did, and I will see you. Well, I won't interact with you at all. You will hear me next time.